Hello and welcome to the United Stand. Manchester United have lost 1-0 to Chelsea in the FA Cup final. All I want to start off with is who is Jose Mourinho going to blame for this after the game? I cannot wait to see his words after this game because there is only one person to blame for this loss and it is Jose Mourinho. I don't know where that 90 minutes went. It went like that. I don't know where it went because that's an FA Cup final and we've done exactly what we've been doing for the last few weeks. And people have a pop at Rashford, they have a pop at Martial, they have a pop at Lingard, they have a pop at Sanchez, they have a pop at Lukaku, they have a pop at Pogba. But there's a consistent thing. Every single player that he's got who's an attacker gets a pop at them. It's not the players, it's the tactics. We took 55 minutes to have a shot on goal, on target in an FA Cup final. And Chelsea spent the whole week going, we can't win this. I and many other United fans went, have you watched United recently? Seriously, have you watched United recently? Why do you not think with the likes of Eden Hazard and Kante in your team, you can't beat United if you turn up? United might not turn up. Now, we normally do turn up against the big teams, but we didn't turn up today. That was toothless. And you know what? Martial came on, there was a bit of effort. Pogba, there was a little bit of effort. And Pogba's miss with 7 minutes to go. I mean, the corner's from Martial, I think. He's 6 yards out with a free header and he heads it wide. I mean, I don't think Chelsea were massively better. They just scored. Conte scored Mourinho. He said, basically today, if we score, they're going to struggle to score because we're going to get 5 men behind the ball defensively. We're going to get 3 men in front of them. They move the ball way too slow and they can't cross the ball. So they can't pass through you. They can't cross. The only way they're going to score is if it's from a long shot. As soon as that was 1-0, he was like rubbing his hands. Why was it 1-0? Because Phil Jones. And that's not Phil Jones' fault. We know what Phil Jones is. He's been called Calamity Jones for years. He's always got a mistake in him. Stoke fell on his arse. Lost us 2 points. Chelsea at the Bridge. 1-0 loss. Went on a stadium tour. Morata. Spurs kicked it in his own net. Today, idiots. Idiot defender who, on top of that, why? Where's Rojo? Rojo's just signed a new contract. Where's Rojo? Where's Lindelof? We spent £30 million on him. He's been good this season. Eric Bailly, one of the best up-and-coming centre-backs in Europe. And you play Smalling and Jones. Now, Smalling, I thought, had a good game. But Phil Jones, why are we picking him? I don't care if he's as good as Franco Baresi in his prime. He's never played more than 40% of a season. Centre-backs are meant to be the rock of your team. Centre-back partnerships are meant to be what you build a team on. Phil Jones is always bloody injured and he's got a mistake in him. We lost that game today because Mourinho picks Phil Jones. As simple as that. That was and man of the match, De Gea. Simply because they had a great chance to win the game and De Gea did what his job was and kept us in it. The people who let us down, the attack was a joke. There was a point in that game where Paul Pogba got it, passed it to Ashley Young, and instead of putting a first-time cross in, he took 5 touches to pass it back to Paul Pogba. We are redundant. We are redundant as an attacking force. We take too long. Too many touches. Matic, I saw him loads of times. 5 touches to play a 5-yard pass. It's crap. It's boring, and it's too easy to defend against. And tell you what, Chelsea parked the bus. But why shouldn't they? Why shouldn't they park the bus? They're not playing Real Madrid or Liverpool or Man City. They're playing United. They know full well we would not cut them open. And we didn't. And we finished the season bad. That season's bad now. Am I right? That season's bad now. It's a bad season, isn't it? We finished second but we lose the FA Cup to Chelsea. It's a bad season, isn't it? Let's be honest. We're going into this summer. But you know what's going to happen next Saturday night as well in the Champions League final. It's just that. It's that year, isn't it? You just know it was going to happen. Jacob says, think if we start Martial and Bailly, we win that. If you start Lindelof, Rojo, Blind or Bailly instead of Phil Jones, we win that game. Because every single one of them would have gone and attacked the ball that Phil Jones goes, oh, okay. Oh, no. Oh, I'm going to try and tackle him now. He should have been sent off. I mean, the reality is we're very lucky to lose 1-0 because Jones should have been sent off and we definitely would have lost then, as if United with 10 men would have found a way through that. Anyway, I want to take your calls. We're taking your calls. Skype Goldbridge, all one word. Call in and have your say because it's not just about what I think, obviously. I want to take some of your calls on it as well. Let's see if we can grab our first one. Hello, can you hear me? Is that Jacko?
Yeah, I can hear you, Mark.
Go on then, mate. What? How are you feeling after that? I'm stunned. I'm shocked, really.
What a disgrace, man. That was just disgusting. Like, I'm sure a lot of people who watched it at home at half-time was thinking, get Martial, get Lukaku on, get some height in the box. We were playing out to the wingers. Ashley Young, Valencia, they were scared to cross the ball in because there was no height in there. It's just, what a loss, man.
I think it was so easy, so easy for Chelsea to defend that. I just apart from a world class long shot, I just couldn't see us create. Apart from that Pogba header, he should have scored that, but
Phil Jones as well. Let's not forget Phil Jones. He had a clear cut chance.
Yeah, on the back post. Yeah. I mean, where do you put it down? Who do you put that down to? I mean, is it the players? Is it the selection of the manager? Is it the tactics? What is going wrong? I mean, because I feel like that game's gone in the blink of an eye, and
everything.
I don't understand.
I honestly think it's everything. I think it's Mourinho's fault for going wrong picking Phil Jones. I think it's just a bad end to the season, really, isn't it?
I feel though that performance from United was actually, if you could box our season into 90 minutes, that was probably it.
100%. Yeah, 100%. We needed Lukaku on from the very start. Given he wasn't fit enough, yes, but we needed him on. Like I said, when we was at the wings, we was there ready to cross the ball in, but we were hesitant because we had no target man. We had no one to aim for. Even Fellaini would have fucking stuck a head on half of the balls that went into the box today.
Yeah. I presume he must have been injured because I can't think for 1 minute that Mourinho's biggest fan of Fellaini wouldn't have had him as an option in the end there. But thanks for starting the show off anyway, Jack. I'm going to try and get loads of people on, but I feel your pain. I'm just stunned by that. Really,
it just sums up another United season. Done it since Sir Alex Ferguson left. It's just this is what we've come to now.
And also, I think we'll go into next season even more with expectations even lower now. We'll be like, I just don't know what to expect.
And that's the club that we are. That's the club that we are. Each year it's just getting lower and lower. It'll come to a point where Europa League is good enough for us, and that's not what Man United's about. Not at all.
Thanks for calling in, mate.
Thank you. See you later, mate.
Cheers, pal. Nightmare TV says, stubborn and pathetic Mourinho, too busy thinking of the defensive side of things, will never be a great United manager. Okay to be great, but United need a certain type of manager. Long goodbye, Jose out. Sean Atwood says Mourinho needs to go. He picks the wrong players, formation, tactics, and wants to sell our best players. You can't defend that bullshit. Mourinho out. And Nightmare TV says, Jose has given us progression, but now he's starting to take us backwards. This will end badly. And we've got another comment here from Ultra Clorox Bleach. My dad, an Evertonian, sums it up perfectly. If we can't beat that United side, we should quit football and take up carpentry or ballet. That was bad football. Jose is too defensive and he will be the end of us. Thank you for that. I think I've got a little bit of a problem with Skype at the moment, so I'm just going to close it down. And we will take more calls, don't worry about that. So if you are calling, just hold off on it for a little bit because we will be taking your calls. Look, you know what? Jose Mourinho at the end of last season, do you know what he said? He said, he took the mick out of Pep and Klopp for being trophyless. We are trophyless. So are we going forward or backwards? We won trophies last year. This year we didn't. So we've gone 6th to 2nd. That's what we've done. But we're not winning trophies. Ahmed Hamada, Sanchez was the worst of both teams. Martial in 20 minutes was better, and we definitely need a left back ASAP. Any left-footed player would have a couple of assists. And Wheels says, LVG got sacked for winning the FA Cup. Jose needs sacking for losing it. His style is too boring and slow. Jones should have never been picked. And I do agree with that. I think Phil Jones, as a selection, was an absolute waste of time. I don't understand what that was all about. And we lost the game because of it. But that's not on Phil. Well, Phil Jones is Phil Jones, isn't he? We know what Phil Jones is all about. But I just don't get what we were trying to do. I don't get what we were trying to do as a team today. I don't get what the tactics were. It was very, very clear what Chelsea were trying to do, and it was not very, very clear what Manchester United were trying to do. Samuel says Jones decided against going for the initial pass, got wrong-footed by Hazard, and in the box fouled him with his shin, hips, and arm all at once. It was a definite definite Phil Jones type of tackle, wasn't it? But the reality is, look, the Phil Jones mistake is the reason we've lost that game. But we had the rest of the game to get back into that, and we were clueless. We've been clueless all season. We don't know how to attack. We do not know how to attack teams. And the reality is Chelsea parked the bus for 45 minutes in the second half and tried to hit us on the break. And we created next to nothing. Paul Pogba had a great chance at the end. That was bad defending by Chelsea from a corner. And when you were presented with an opportunity like that on a corner, he's got to score it. But actually, we should be creating chances in the game. We should be creating chances in a game of football to get back into that. It was limp. It was apathetic, limp, dull, lacking passion, lacking fight, lacking excitement, and that is what we are at the moment. We there's no desire. There's no all out. I mean, De Gea wasn't even allowed to go up for that corner at the end. Mourinho went, no, there's still a minute and a half left, get back. What are you on about? There's still a minute and a half left, get back in your goal. So what if they score to go 2-0? Get him up. Get him up. It's joke. And Ashley Young sitting on the pitch there, dejected. Well, you know, you've had 90 minutes, Ashley, and you're a crap left back. And that should have been a penalty to Chelsea as well, because you did handball it, and everyone knows you did. Just awful performance from United. And we got the best team did win, didn't it? They did win. We will spend more money. Well, you know, the worrying thing is, I'm trying to get Skype to work. And if you're Skyping in, can you just stop Skyping at the moment? Because I can't open Skype to get back into it. So I want to take your calls. But if you are Skyping, stop it, please. Because I can't actually get into Skype to do it. So please stop Skyping, because I can't get into Skype to open it. Because you're all bloody calling. I can't get in. Close the programme. Okay, we've had a super chat here. Ultra Clawlax Breach, yeah, I've read that one. Mark, still Jose in though, Darth Vader? Oh, he's got to be given the third season. I know that. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. The worrying thing for me now is that when we go into next season, if Shaw and... I don't have confidence in the manager's team selection. So if he sells Martial and Shaw, I don't think it's right. I don't think it's right for Manchester United to sell that sort of a player and trust in this manager. And I think that's something that's not for me to say. It's not for you to say. This is for the board to say. They've got to say, I'm not letting you sell Shaw and Martial. They're 22. They could be really good players to buy 29-year-olds. I don't trust what you're trying to do. I'm not going to let you do it. That's what the board have got to be brave enough to do. And I don't think they will. I don't think they will. My health is in danger if Liverpool win the Champions League, says Sports Story. Right, so let's try one more time to get this up and working. I really am intrigued to see what Jose Mourinho's got to say. I really am, because it's not acceptable. That isn't. Not acceptable. Not acceptable. Somebody just said it wasn't that bad. We played quite well. I mean, somebody just said there that Martial looks annoyed, and the reality is, I think there's something big wrong with that team. I think there's something really wrong with that team behind the scenes, because there's no the players aren't giving out any urgency. There's no leadership. There's no grabbing hold of things, and I think that is where United are going wrong big time at the moment. Sanchez was worse than Mkhitaryan. Valencia useless, says Vincent. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. This Skype thing's just not going to work. It's not going to work at the moment, so I'm just going to go to the live comments. So whack your live comments in and let's see what people are saying. Mega Reaps, we lost the game also because of Rashford. Talk about his performance today, Mark. Can't shoot, can't take corners, free kicks the same. Martial's better. Weedster, Mark, what's it going to take for you to finally admit that Jose's bad for our club? Our players are regressing and our tactics are from 2007. And the Sankadeep says, we need 3 world-class signings just to compete next year for positions of Lingard, Herrera's and Young's. World-class players, or else forget it. I'm just going to come back to that first one from Mega Reaps and say, look, in relation to Marcus Rashford, he's gone backwards under Jose Mourinho. Martial's going backwards under Jose Mourinho. Luke Shaw's going backwards under Jose Mourinho. But Marcus Rashford's going backwards. And he was bad today, and he's been bad this season. He's not getting the development. He's not. And I've heard a lot of people saying he needs to go on loan. And he does. He needs to get away from Mourinho. Mourinho doesn't know how to develop players. He puts too much pressure on kids. We've seen what he's done with Martial and Shaw. He champions Rashford, but he actually doesn't really do anything for his development. Rashford just gets thrown in at deep ends and subbed off here and there. Rashford's had a really, really, really bad season by his high standards. And I'm a big fan of Marcus Rashford, but he's going backwards. I mean, who has Jose Mourinho improved in 2 years? Lingard, Fellaini, Smalling. Not many. Oh, and our young players are going backwards. So yeah, Rashford was dreadful today. But the big thing that stands out to me about Marcus Rashford is it's like Harry Kane when he was taking corners for England under Hodgson, or when Phil Jones was taking corners for Van Gaal. Why is Rashford taking all the free kicks and the corners? He can't take them. He cannot take a corner. And yet he's on the corners. I don't understand it. I don't today. Alois says, from today I'm Mourinho out. Players going backwards. Which player has improved? And Jared says, blind faith in Jose isn't expected. We aren't progressing fast enough for people. If he sells Martial and buys 30-year-olds, he will have zero room for error. I'm not about to I've made mistakes on match reactions before where I've made statements that, 24 hours when you've calmed down, you react in a different way. I'm not about to say Jose Mourinho out. I still stand by what I've always said. Everywhere Jose Mourinho goes, he wins a title. Do I think we're going to be title winners next season? No. It's not impossible, but no. Anyway, Mourinho is talking to the press. I'm just going to read out what he says to you now because this is what I've been waiting for. Fasten your seatbelts. Please do drop a like on the video. It's not a nice, easy time, but please do drop a like on the video. And subscribe to the channel if you're new. What's your take on the final? I congratulate Chelsea because they won, but I do not think they deserve to win. I congratulated them because I am a sportsman. They scored one more goal than ours and they got the cup, and I have to do what my job asks me to do. Interesting. I'm a Manchester United manager and I have to be respectful. I think we deserve to win. You've got to love Jose Mourinho. You've got to love him because his deflective tactics are brilliant. He will never take responsibility. He will never take it. He never does. He's just said we deserve to win that game. If the team played like Chelsea, I can imagine everyone would say, so I'm quite curious. Well, Chelsea did park the bus, but they've had a rubbish season. Why shouldn't they do that against United? Players gave everything today. It was a difficult half for us to play without Lukaku against a team who defended like with 9 players, and we needed that. He's right there. We did need Lukaku for that, which we've not had for a long time. But we tried everything, and it is a kind of defeat that hurts. Every defeat hurts, but I go home with the feeling we gave everything. It's not going to... Jose, I'm sorry, mate. I really like you, but that's not going to help you with the people who don't like you. It's not. I just think, look, Mourinho's having a go at a team for parking the bus against him. But to be honest with you, Chelsea have had a bad season. They were the underdogs in this game. And what I think Conte schooled Jose. I think that's the name of the video, isn't it? Mourinho schooled by Conte. Because he knew to do it. He knew to do that. Exactly. No Lukaku. If you put 3 centre-backs around that. He's on about Fellaini as well. Fucking idiot. He's an idiot saying that. Absolute idiot. So, yeah, Fellaini's there and we win. Yeah, great. Love it. We're Manchester United, mate, not Stoke. So basically, what he wanted to do was go long ball and he couldn't do it. Stats. Jose has failed to win only 2 games out of 22 games where his team has fallen behind 2 goals. Under Jose, we forgot how to attack. Clueless, says Bishal. Deflective tactics from Mourinho then. I mean, I suppose we shouldn't be surprised. Basically said the best team didn't win. Chelsea didn't deserve to win, and he didn't have Fellaini or Lukaku to hit long balls to. And I agree with Stuart McHugh. Mourinho's moaning because, if I played like that, I'd get pelters. But you do play like that, Jose. You play like that nearly every game. Chelsea don't normally do that. They did that to win a game of football. That's called tactics. That's called dealing with a team that's the favourites. And what Chelsea did is they got lots of people behind the ball, but then when they got the ball, they tried to hit us on the break. And they won the game because of it. So they did deserve to win. Bale, Savic, Fabinho, if not, we're going backwards, says Bengai. And Vincent Quentin, time to get Zidane. Would have been kidding myself even if we won. Jones is dire. Southgate is blind. Martial, Lukaku, De Gea, Matic, best player on the field. And James Bryant will soon find out whether the board care more about the money or what's going on the pitch. I think they'll back Jose big time, but we need to improve. We need to improve. And nobody's really buying into the fact, are they? I'm just reading your comments there. Nobody's convinced by it. Manchester United did not play well. And also, you cannot... We are not a 90 minutes team as well. We are a 45-minute team. We've never had a good 2 halves of football in the entire season. We've had some very good halves of football, but we've never had a full 90 minutes. And at the top level, if you're a 45-minute team, you're going to get your nose blooded, aren't you? Johnson, United fans wanted Man City-type football, dominated possession and chances, yet did absolutely nothing. After what I've seen, I'd park the bus every game too, says Johnson. We didn't play like Man City. I don't know what you're on about. We don't play like Man City. We don't even play like Oldham. We don't. Man City, Liverpool, Spurs. They move the ball fast. They get the ball 1 touch maximum and they move it off. You watch United. We get the ball 4 or 5 touches and probably give it back. Mickey Simic says Jones' decision making our most exciting quality. I never wanted Jose in the first place. Sooner he's gone, the better, says Hindsight TV. Nightmare TV says, Mark, how can you be Jose in? You fear we're going to ruin our future by making old signings. You don't like the style. You don't agree with most of his decisions. You don't have faith in next season. When you put it like that, yeah, I'm just not ready to be Mourinho out. I'm not. I can't. I think what's going to happen is we're going to have to go into this 3rd year and he's either going to really pull a miracle off and turn it round, or we're going to have another 6 months of this and he'll be gone. And I think that's what's going to happen. I just think it's too early to go a team that finishes 2nd, get rid of him. I just don't think that can happen. But I don't like his excuses after games. I don't like him coming out and saying we deserve to win and my players gave everything. It was a poor performance. The game went in a blink of an eye because we were lethargic again. When Jose leaves Manchester United after the 3rd season winning nothing, we are bored out of our heads with a bunch of ageing players and no youth. Where will we be then, says Man U Stu. That is the fear. Van Gaal got sacked and he won the cup, says Jamie White. A lot of people will be saying that. And Jones should be kicked out, says Push MR3. I agree with you. We play like Wimbledon. Jose out, but I suppose we did get 2nd, the Pratt, says Sion Williams. Hubby says, worst United side he has seen in a final, passing to slow and pedestrian, absolute rubbish. We had no idea. Jose in his press conference will come out with a load of cobblers, says Ruth Myers. And why does he deserve a 3rd year when you can see he's making poor decisions now? Jide says, I suppose it's a bit of self-preservation as well, if I'm totally honest. I know the board aren't going to sack Jose Mourinho. They're not going to sack him. He will be here next season. And the worst thing is that we go into this close season with a real low expectations. We've got low expectations of the football we're going to get next season. We're not going to go into next season with any great enthusiasm, and I think the last 2 seasons we have. And I think United fans are becoming quite realistic to the fact that the football's going to continue to be like this. So even if we sign Milinkovic-Savic, even if we sign Gareth Bale, well, we've just signed Alexis Sánchez, and for 4 months he's been crap. And that's not necessarily on him. Lingard's been poor for 4 months. Pogba's been poor. Martial's been poor. Rashford's been poor. Lukaku's there to score goals and does score goals, but there's a lot more to his game that we could get from him. Yeah, the midfield moved the ball too slowly. it really is down to the training pitch and what's going on there. But we could go, as I said before, we could go into this summer and we could lose Martial and Luke Shaw. And that's not right, is it? It's not right. It isn't right, because the players that are there are not good enough either. Gungshi says we need an overhaul, including a new manager. It's not working with Mourinho. He isn't a United manager. I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to see. Flex is sat with Paul, who did the rant last week. He's done a vlog as well, but I dread to think what's going to happen on the fan cams for that, because I think I know what he's like. I don't agree with a lot of what Paul says, but I know what he was like before the game. He was not happy that Phil Jones was playing. I think he's going to be, if he's still alive, he might have had a heart attack. Give it up, he has to go. We need a better manager, says D Ghost, as he's killing the players' confidence, and we need an overhaul. And if Shaw and Martial leave, I'm Jose out, says the Phil 6688. Lingard is not good enough for Manchester United, says Mr. JG84. Look, if we're talking about the players, Jesse Lingard, you'll never win a title with. He's a bench player. Phil Jones, you'll never win the championship with, because he's always going to be injured and he'll make mistakes. Chris Smalling, you won't win a title with him. I like him. He played well today, but ultimately, if you want to win a title, he's not good enough. You've got to look at yourself and say, we're starting an FA Cup final. It's our biggest game of the season. It's our only chance to win a trophy. I am totally and utterly gutted that we've not added to our FA Cup record. All that work to get there, to not turn up in a final, is a disgrace. But all our centre-backs are fit, and our first choice is Jones and Smalling. Now, Smalling played well, and I do like Smalling. Phil Jones played crap and cost us the game. But the reality is, it should be Bay and Rojo, or it should be Bay and Lindelof. Jones and Smalling are fourth and fifth centre-backs for me. Rojo's fit, why is he not playing? Lindelof's fit, why is he not playing? Bay's fit, why is he not playing? They're three better centre-backs than those, and he picks Jones and Smalling. I don't understand that. Ashley Young's got to go. He is a crap left back, and I like Ashley Young, but he's rubbish, absolutely rubbish. And he gave a penalty away. He was really lucky. Valencia, he's looked shot since Christmas. He looks absolutely shot, and he takes too many touches on the ball. He's got to go. Matic was one of the best players on the pitch, but as I said in the game, he's slow. Actually, if we're going to actually evolve, we need to be hard. We need to be cruel to be kind. And Matic is too slow. He moves the ball too slow, and he takes too many touches. And if you don't believe me, watch it back. He takes too many touches. Herrera, I like Herrera, but what's gone wrong with him this season? Mourinho's knocked him back. Pogba, I'm not convinced Pogba's going to be here next season. I'm not. I don't think he's given enough on the pitch to look like he cares. Mustafa Hamada says, I used to be Jose until very recently, but now all I see is shattering players' confidence, depressing press conferences, and his tactics put me to sleep. Doesn't matter who he buys. Red Jedi, the game shouldn't have been decided by Jones' mistake. Attack and score a goal. Common sense. We lost this game because Calamity Jones made a stupid defensive error. My biggest worry with Jose is his team selection. He trusts the wrong players, spot on. And Vincent Quentin, Moyes on BN Sport slating Jose. He's stating he was better and this would have been never let this sort of performance happen during his time. Has he got a point? I mean, Moyes is a disaster himself, isn't he? Anyway, let's move into the attack. We've mentioned Pogba. McTominay, I don't think he's ultimately good enough for a top six side, but he's young. Fellaini's crap. Get rid of him. Lingard's a bench player. Jose will never change. Getting my hopes up, says Knowledge Anthony. Lingard's a bench player. Rashford's gone backwards this season. He's lost all confidence. He's gone backwards. Martial we're probably going to sell. Was brilliant till we signed Sanchez and has been messed about. Alexis Sánchez, either he's lost what he was or he is struggling big time, because he really is struggling. And Lukaku needs more. You know, Lukaku survives on half the chances that Harry Kane gets, and he scores goals. He needs more chances, Lukaku, doesn't he? Sanchez was poor, says Sebastian. Moyes is better than Mourinho. Oh, God. Player ratings, Mark. Player ratings. Okay, let's do player ratings. De Gea is my man of the match. 8. I'll give De Gea an 8. Valencia, 5. I just don't think he does enough. I'm going to be harsh. We've just lost a cup final, and if that was West Ham at home, maybe a little bit more generous. But that's an FA Cup final. I expect everybody to be playing far better than that. So Valencia a 5, 6 being average, 5. Smalling, 7. I thought Chris Smalling actually played well. If you watch the game back, he did make some key tackles. So 7 for me from Smalling. One of the few players to come out with credibility. Jones, 2. rubbish. Not only did he give that penalty away, but he also should have scored on that cross on the back post. So a 2 for Phil Jones. Ashley Young, too many touches when he's going forward. Lucky not to give a penalty away. And an awful left back, 4. Matic, 7. I thought he did okay. I know he's slow in that, but he did okay. Herrera, 7. He battled away. Pogba, I thought Pogba did. I'll give Pogba a 7, but maybe a 6 because he's got to score that header. Sanchez, 5. Not good. He made a couple of tackles, but not good enough. Lingard, 4. Disappearing act again. Rashford, and I like Rashford, 4. Missed, not a good game. Lukaku, I'll give him a 5. He didn't look fit. Martial, I think I'll give him a 7. He made mistakes again, but he had a go, didn't he? Mike D says Mourinho needs to be admitted into a mental hospital. No sense and poor selection. He is a shadow of his former self. Young out, Jones out, Sanchez poor. Keep the comments flying in, and thank you everyone who's making a super chat option as well. It makes me easier to read them out, but keep coming in with the comments. Oh, you know what? In general terms, I'm stunned. I'm stunned by that performance. I've got to say, I'm absolutely stunned by it. I just did not, under any circumstances, comprehend us losing that game of football. I really, really didn't. I couldn't see it happening. I could not see it happening. And I mean, that's just that's a chance of silverware gone, isn't it? A chance of silverware gone. And I think, as I said with the first caller, it sums up our season, that 90 minutes, because there was no passion until it was too late. There was no identity. It was very slow. There were individual errors. There was no leadership. I mean, Valencia's the captain, by the way. Where's the leadership when you're 1-0 down? The manager, wrong selections as well. Faith in the wrong players. Not boosting the right players. It was really, really lacklustre. It really was. Ike MJ says, I feel sorry for De Gea. Well, remember, De Gea makes that save that keeps us in the game. It would have been 2-0. Jones has cost this club too many things. Well, he's cost us 10 points this season as well. Not that one to win us the league. Lewis Croden says, you honestly didn't see that coming? Wake up, Mark. I didn't actually, Lewis, because against the big teams, we've performed. I've obviously watched the West Ham game, the Watford game. I've seen us be dreadful recently against the teams from down under, down low, the bottom half of the table. But against the top teams, we've turned up this season. So I thought we would turn up, and we didn't. David Ben, who do you think is a realistic replacement for Mourinho if he leaves? He's not going to leave, David. He's not going to leave because he's come out after the game and said the best team lost and my players give everything. He's deluded. He's deluded Jose, isn't he? He's deluded. He's not going to go. He's not going to go. I wouldn't do a Jose Mourinho poll now because I think most people would be Jose out. It was not Manchester United's day. That's all, says Emmanuel. Positivity, positivity. In fact, has anyone got any positive comments to read? Because I will read them out. CT Clark Carr says, the writing was on the wall though. Why are you stunned? Mourinho is picking the wrong players all season. Too many individuals with their ego, says Corey. And can no longer say that Jose Man United brings it to the big matches, but nothing today, says Samuel Arins. And should be sacked, says Potato. Wyme says, I'm not stunned, I'm used to it now. Killface Dell says, if Jose isn't going to win it next year, then why allow a short stint manager to target players past their prime and sell our high potential youth? Ed Woodward loves Mourinho though. He loves Mourinho. He's not going to move him on. Martial was good, says David the Goat. That could be the last time we see Martial. No way Jose can say we were best team first half, says Lynn Hall. He will. He definitely will. Well, he already has. No one even looked up Seth after losing, says Rahul. Well, to be fair, Ashley Young did. Ashley Young was devastated. Maybe that's a sign he's leaving. He won't leave. But the horrible thing for United is it's not, as Manchester United fans, it's not even over yet, is it? We go into this summer totally redundant and lacking faith and we've got Liverpool to win the Champions League next week probably, and then a long summer where it really doesn't matter who we sign, does it? It won't matter who we sign because we've got good players already. We've got good players already, and they're not playing freely. Hold on. Somebody's put a tweet out of me. Let's have a look.
Jones goes, oh, okay. Oh no. Oh, I'm going to try and tackle him now. He should have been...
No, right. Okay. I'm just having a look on Twitter. I mean, Twitter's a bit of a vile place, but... Yeah. Exhausting, isn't it? Exhausting. Anyway, Gen Will says, who's going? Shaw, Fellaini, Pogba, Martial. And Kaloyan says, we lost our way, mate. No style, no fight, nothing. And I'm afraid it's not only Jose's fault. The board must look at themselves. Sir Alex Ferguson is truly missed. Were there any positives from today, says Farmed? Well, I'm struggling to see any positives from... I don't see any positives from today. I don't. And that doesn't make... I don't want to get into... I'm not going to be Mourinho out. I wouldn't say tonight anyway. I would reflect. The fan cams are going to be absolutely amazing, aren't they? We've got Paul with Flex. That's definitely going to go up. It's probably going to go off like a bottle of pop, isn't it? So keep your eye out for that. Saturday night ruined, isn't it? Saturday night ruined. What I would say is get on the fan cams and have your say on those. And Man City fans are laughing. Of course, I never bother about that, Simon. I never bother. I know Arsenal fans are laughing because we haven't levelled up with them for the same amount of FA Cup wins. Liverpool fans will be loving it with a Champions League final to look forward to. City fans will be loving it that we've won no trophy. I don't worry about stuff like that. I'm not bothered about stuff like that because the reality is we're Manchester United and I'm more interested in what you say, and there's a lot of people very angry and embarrassed who are United fans, and I will listen to them. I don't need to listen to rivals having a pop at us. Am I worried about the future of this club? I hope to see something to be positive about today. I hope to be seeing the players holding an FA Cup. I hope to see another FA Cup win on the history of Manchester United today. And I hope to be going into this summer with my fingers crossed saying we've won the FA Cup and we can build on it and we can go forward from that. That's what I hope to see. Reality is we saw another redundant, boring performance from United. Another lacklustre, not creating enough chances. How many chances clean cut did we create in that game? I can think of Pogba and maybe one or two others. It's not enough over 90 minutes. So I think whatever happens this summer, I'm excited about what signings we can make. But I think if we let Shaw and Martial go, Ed Woodward's basically got to say you're not selling Shaw and Martial, Jose, because I back you at the moment. But if you have another season like that, you're gone. And I can't let young talent go on the back of you just having another year. If you get it wrong, you've got to get it right with what you've got. That's what the club need to say to him. And if Mourinho says, well, I'm going now, let him go now. I would not in a million years let him sell Shaw and Martial now. I don't know what anyone else thinks, but I don't think he should be allowed to sell them, because if he lets them go and then he has a season like this, Jon, and he goes, we've lost not only our manager, but we've lost two really good young talents. I don't agree with Shaw and Martial going. It's better for them if they go to get away from Mourinho, but I would have accepted it if I could see where we were going under Jose. If I thought, well, we're going to win the title next year. I don't want them to go, but we're going to win the title next year. You can see where we're evolving. I don't agree with him for them being allowed to go based on what we're seeing at the moment. We don't know what we are. It looks like, if we're a graph, it looks like we're dropping. And on our way down, we're going to get rid of young talent. No, that should not happen. So it's going to be interesting to see. Matic was our best player, but he reminds me of Carrick now. Carrick is just as quick as he is, says Nat Kennedy Breeze. Radu Christian says, heads up, mate, not a United fan, but what your team is known for is comebacks. All big teams go through this. It was just one season. It will pass. Thanks for that. Thanks for the contribution, Gen W. And yeah, look, you know what? We're going to have to lick our wounds over the summer. Mark Rollinson says, the things I could have done with the last 2 hours of my life. And I just... Josie22 says, if the manager can't inspire players, why in the world do we waste our time with Mourinho? Get us Ancelotti. Ancelotti would be good, but he's not an all-out manager either. We were better in the second half. I agree with Lynn. We were better in the second half, but we still struggled. We didn't create enough chances. Mason Swan, now I have to support Real Madrid next weekend. Is this what it's really come to? Abanaf says, any other world-class manager would have won us the FA Cup and maybe even the league with that team. David Ben, Mourinho has to adapt to the modern game to make it happen. This isn't the man I admired back in the day. A lot of people saying that, actually. A lot of people saying that. XB Roughneck, why complain about the board not spending money when we can't beat the lower table teams? We have more talent than them, yet we still lose. Fair point. Josie Tutu, yeah, we did that one. Yeah, okay. Keep your comments coming in. I'm more than happy to take them out because it's therapeutic at the end of the day. I think if I went off air, I'd be like, what am I going to do with my evening? What am I going to do? I thought we were going to be celebrating an FA Cup win, and I know a lot of people obviously feel the same. If you are new to the United Stand, click that subscribe button in the bottom right-hand corner. I think we're going to be therapy for everybody over the summer, aren't we? Collectively with the live comments. I am in shock. I'm in shock. I think for the last few weeks I've been thinking second place in the FA Cup is acceptable. It's not great, it's acceptable. We lick our wounds from a bad season and we go again next season. But to come out of it without the FA Cup, I'm trying to process it in my mind as to that's a bad season, isn't it? It is a bad season. Let's be honest, it really is. Yeah, please do drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Please see Jose's press conference, Mark, says Shahil. I'll try and grab it. Let me have a look. I saw what he said after the game, but I haven't seen his press conference. So let's have a look what he is saying. I think you've got to say that, yeah, I agree with you as well. I think Morata's probably gone as well, isn't he? Not Morata, he is gone. Mata, he seems to have been the fall guy. Mustafa, Mourinho has become like a dictator who's dwelling in the past on his past accomplishments. I can't see any quotes about Jose, so if anyone wants to throw me out. Innocent says it's a bad season. Next season will be the deciding one for Jose, says Rattle. I do agree with you. I think he's got to be given the third year, and I know that will sound very irritating to a lot of people, and I know it might be a very irritating season, but sorry, I think the live comments might have froze. Let me just sort those out for you. I know it's important. The reality is the live comments on the video don't really matter that much anymore, because if you watch a video back on YouTube, you always do see the live comments anyway. There we go. Here we go. Man United fan says he's sad and mad. I can understand what you're feeling. Matt is finished, says Gazel Cesar. Any news on the assistant manager? Yeah, we're appointing a fitness coach from Sampdoria who was a fitness coach with Jose Mourinho at Inter. I forget his name now. Repetti or something like that. Alexandre to Manchester United. We need to announce a signing very, very quickly because the fans are going to be very, very unhappy. Woodward needs, now more than ever, Woodward needs to get some business done in the transfer window because otherwise they need to kill this Mourinho out thing dead very, very quickly. And the only way they're going to do that is to bring some positivity. Alan Hughes says, why are we still reliant on Jones and Smalling as centre-backs? They're both liabilities and they continue to make mistakes. Both should have been shipped out years ago. I mean, I thought Smalling played well today, Alan, but we all know that Phil Jones cost us the game. But look, win or lose that game today, we need fullbacks who've got balance, and especially Chris Smith says, I'm looking forward to Paul's fan cam. You know what? I don't normally watch the fan cams that much. I'm excited to see Paul's fan cam. If anyone's never seen Paul do a fan cam before, he's the one who ranted after the Man City game and went, we're Manchester United, not Stoke City. Hoof, hoof, hoof. Well, he's with Flex at the game, and he probably will have filmed it. He'll be going up very, very soon, so keep your eye out for that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that, because I'm looking forward to seeing what people at the ground had to say, because they've travelled for that. They've spent a lot of money for that. I think Flex spent 200 quid to go to that game. That's the other side of it, isn't it? The money the fans are spending and travelling as well to go and have to go through that. It's a great point. It's not good enough. And they're the people that Jose needs on side. He needs them on side. If he starts losing them, trouble. Radu Christian says David Alaba Savic, buy them, win the league. And I think that on top of that as well is nobody likes losing. Nobody likes losing. But if you lose a game 1-0 and you've been unlucky and you've given everything and you've created chances and you've been unlucky, you don't like it, but in the cold light of day, you'll deal with it. If you lose a game like today and you don't deserve it and you've been outschooled tactically and the players aren't the right players, and then the manager comes out and tries to brainwash you that the best team lost, you don't appreciate that. You don't appreciate that. The most exciting thing today is Paul's fan cam. Yeah, forget match of the day or casualty or anything like that. Paul's fan cam. We'll try and get it up first. In fact, let me just message. Message Flex and get it up while I read out. No one at the club cares about the fans now, says Shemik. I mean, that's a very interesting topic. Very interesting topic indeed. I mean, have we become a club that's just focused on profit that we feed in there? Young talents, the academy reserves. Also, Tierney and Ryan Sessegnon linked. What's your thoughts, says Genwil Belondres. I said this even before. Jose Mourinho doesn't develop youth talent. He doesn't develop youth talent, does he? So I'm a bit worried about things like that. Man U Stu. When Jose leaves Manchester United after the third season, winning nothing, and we're bored out of our heads with a bunch of ageing players and new youth, where will we be then? And Man U, Stu, you hit the nail on the head there. This is a concern a lot of people have. Jones is going to the World Cup over Smalling. Let that settle in. I think I tell you what, that is there's a tweet in that. I'm gonna use that. Very, very good point. Very, very good point. But yeah, the concerns. The concerns over what could be left by Jose, an ageing squad that's gone backwards, is a worry. Lacking confidence again. I mean, it's been a dreadful for 5 years. You can't ignore the Van Gaal and Moyes eras as well. They've contributed to this. The squad's got a lot of deadwood in it. But I think as fans, if we were in charge, I think we would all be very angry as we are now, but I think we would all say, let's sleep on it and talk about it tomorrow in relation to Jose, because I think after a sleep you might think, oh, you know what, maybe give him another year. I mean, that's what I believe now. But as the board, I can pretty much guess that they've got no plans to do that. They're like, oh, don't worry about it. Remember this. Let me just read this. I've read that one, it's alright. Remember what? John Brooks, what a total joke. Next Saturday will be even worse. Joke. I hope not, mate. I hope not. It's going that way though, isn't it? But remember what Jose Mourinho said on the morning of the semi-final against Spurs. That Ed Woodward had messaged him and said, I'm sure we'll win today, but even if we don't, it's already been a great season. That is the chief executive, Ed Woodward, saying to our manager before the Spurs game in mid-April that even if we don't win the FA Cup semi-final, it's been a great season. We hadn't even confirmed top 4 then, I don't think. This is the problem. I mean, Ed Woodward, what does anybody know about Ed Woodward? Did he actually support Manchester United? Or is he just a man to make money for the Glazers? I don't know. I ask that of you. This is the man who makes the big decisions for this club. Did he even support Manchester United? Or is he just a talented chief executive who makes a lot of money? And that's not digging him out. Well, it is in a way, isn't it? But that's not digging him out. That I'm digging out the corporate build-up of Manchester United. That for whatever you say about Man City's owners, and it is oil money. It is oil money. But their sole focus is making Manchester City the best with the best players. And at what cost? It doesn't matter. Let's do it. We'll make the money back in the end. Manchester United's sole purpose is to make money for their shareholders and their owners, and that's worrying. There are bigger issues than just Jose Mourinho, because a board that understood what Manchester United was all about, that understood that type of football is not good enough, that understood that selling kids who've got great talent and need developing is not good enough, they might look at this situation and go, you change or you go. I'm not saying sack him. If I was the board member, I'd pull Mourinho in tomorrow and I'd say, you're not selling Shaw, you're not selling Martial, because if you don't sort this out next season, you're going and we'll have lost 2 players that another manager might really want to use. So you're not selling them. Everybody says they're great young talents. Get the best out of them. And we're not investing in 30-year-olds either. You buy players that are going to fit in with what this club's all about, and you play that way, or you go. And play the ultimatum. I wouldn't sack him. I'd just say, get on with it. But I don't think we've got a board who does that. I look at the way Ed Woodward looks at Mourinho, and it's like, I love him. We need a captain, Mr. Accolade. One of the comments of the night. We do need a captain. We really do need a captain. And we need a captain as soon as possible. We are leaderless. And that's something that really has surprised me about Jose Mourinho over the last 2 years. He's not bothered about bringing in a captain. He's let De Gea have it. He's let Mata have it. He's let Fellaini have it. He basically lets people have it who are old players who've been at the club for a long time. That's what he does. And I find it absolutely stunning, to be honest. Absolutely stunning that we don't have a captain. And people try to say, oh, those days are gone. You don't need a captain. Of course you do. Of course you do. Of course you need a captain. So many things going wrong at the moment with Manchester United, and I'm worried. I'm worried about next season. I wouldn't say I'm excited about next season. I'd say I'm very, very worried about it. And yeah. I'll stay live for you as long as you want to stay live. A lot of people are saying how long you stay live. I had different plans, but I'm more than happy. And I'm sorry that the Skype thing didn't work. We will take your calls on Monday night Skype, but keep commenting and I'll read them out. Nat Kennedy Breeze, Manchester United can make money regardless of results. Ed Woodward says it all, doesn't it? It is true. That's what Arsenal have been doing for 10 years, you know. I don't want us to become Arsenal. They were doing it for 10 years. Thanks for everyone who's been making the contributions through the Super Chat as well. If you do it, we'll read them out. Apparently the live chat's not working again. I don't know why it's not working. It should be working. Skype's gone wrong, Daniel. We were trying it and it's just messed up. I think we've had so many people trying to call in. I think what we'll do is we'll go with Discord. I'm going to get it set up over the summer, but we'll probably never have a bigger Skype thing as this morning, as this one anyway. Sorry for the crunching. John Brooks, Mark, Sir Alex Ferguson would do wonders with this squad. Jose is just not the same anymore. Where is the special one? Just angry as a fan, just fed up with it. Yeah, you're spot on. And to be honest, that's not something we've mentioned yet, and I'm glad it's being mentioned a little bit later in the show. But I'm disgusted the manager and players put in a performance like that when Sir Alex Ferguson's been really ill. You know, a lot of us thought that we were going to lose Sir Alex a couple of weeks ago, didn't we? Literally 2 weeks ago, and we said it at the time. The FA Cup's won now because the players are going to turn up, and they didn't. They didn't turn up. It's a disgrace. I hadn't thought of that, to be honest. I had thought about it because I've mentioned it a lot, but it only just come into my head there. Rogue Punisher says Mourinho the special one. Well, I'm the frustrated one. I bet how Jose's complaining about Chelsea's defensive tactics approach. Takes the biscuit. Conte gave you a taste of your own medicine. How can you complain? That's a good point from Lynn. I saw Mourinho talking after the game about the tactics of Chelsea. Chelsea don't play like that every week. Chelsea played like that to beat us. Mourinho does this every game we play somebody. He's a chameleon. He adapts his team to the opposition, and then he has the cheek to moan at Chelsea playing a system to beat his team. They knew Lukaku was injured, so they played 3 centre-backs to nullify Rashford. They know that we can't cross the ball, so they submitted width to swamp the midfield. They know that we move the ball really slowly, so they got people behind the ball and they sucked us in and they hit us on the break. I don't really have a problem with Chelsea's tactics. Do you think there's a Chelsea fan sat there tonight, like Paul was after the Watford game last week, even though we won, saying, that's crap, that's not us. Every week we're playing boring football. There's no Chelsea fan doing that. They'll be going, oh, what fair play to Conte. He salvaged something from a rubbish season. So, and I disagree with Jose saying that the best team lost. They didn't. The best team won. Katie Foster says we need to unleash Pogba. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if Pogba goes this summer. I think he's missing something. I don't know what. I don't know what it is. There seems to be a problem. Why are we trying at the last minute, says Ben Acott? Well, we didn't turn up in the first half, did we? I've lost my live comments. It'll come back to me, don't worry. I think, we've got 5,000 people watching, and I just don't think any of us want to end the show, do we? Because we know what we're going to when it's over. It's just that nothingness. The season's over for Manchester United. That's our last game of the season, and we finish it with a limp. Yeah, I expected so much more. Hazard played well, says Chai. Well, we were talking about this before the game, just very quickly. I kept saying this before the game, that I'm not falling into this trap of all these Chelsea fans who were saying United are going to win, we're terrible. I mean, come on. You've got Kante, you've got Hazard, you've got a decent defence, you've got a world-class goalkeeper. Come on, you might have been playing badly, but if they turn it on, they're a good team. And I wasn't shocked that Chelsea played okay today. They've got a good team. Herrera's man marking was terrible, says Michael Teo. Paul Parker, more like poor Pogba, says the Zlat. Phil Jones belongs in a pub team, says Wyra. I thought you were going to say in a bin. Ben says, if you end the show, I'm going to cry. Please don't go. I was sort of hoping I could stay live until Flex sends me over a fan cam, but I haven't got one yet. We need you here until midnight, says Ben Johnson. No, I don't know about that. Football Heritage Speak is coming, says Christian. I'm just going to quickly see if I can find if he said anything else, because I think, in summary, what went wrong with the game today is that Jose Mourinho has this total aversion to entertaining football. He doesn't like it. And I think today he was looking to grind out a win. And what will annoy him the most is what he's a master at, or used to be a master at, the opposition did to him. He basically had his own tactics turned on himself. And that is why he was so angry, because he's just been beaten by his own tactics. And that must be frustrating. It's like if you're ever into wrestling and you can think of the Stone Cold Steve Austin and his stunner, the Stone Cold Stunner, or the Undertaker Tombstone. It's like you have a wrestling match and the Undertaker gets flipped over and the tombstone's done on him. You're finished by your own finishing move, and that must be very frustrating for Mourinho that Conte did him at his own game. Katie Foster, did I think at any time he would score? I felt that we would get a great chance to score. I didn't think we played well enough consistently that we were creating enough chances. I think the Pogba chance with 10 minutes to go was the chance, and he should have scored it. Reshi, we will, they won't. And I do really think we were the better team. Second half was good. I just didn't hit the net, says Tyler Morgie. The thing is, and I did say it right at the start, we were lucky to be given an opportunity to get back into that game, and we didn't take it because Phil Jones should have been sent off. I don't care about the letter of the law. He should have been sent off. It was a goal-saving tackle, and he didn't make it. And there we go. I will play FIFA again, not tonight. What is for us in the future, Mark says rack shit. Well, we don't know. We don't know, do we? We don't know. I mean, we are doing the show tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, me, Sophie and Flex, talking about the season. And I was hoping it was going to have a bit of a celebratory, celebratory effect. But I think it's going to be a very interesting show. I mean, we're going to do our United Stand end of season player awards, which we'll put up on the website for you to vote. So make sure you're following us on Twitter. But because they will be voted by you. But I'm not happy with that season. I'm really not. I don't think it's good enough. The Champions League, I think, hurt everybody because it was toothless against not a great Sevilla team. But today, you've got to attack. And we don't want to attack. I don't think he knows how to attack. I don't know why he was given the job. I thought he was given the job because he was going to be understanding of what we are. Gabriel Lebond says, why is Bay not playing? The thing is, you make a brave decision like not picking your best centre-backs and picking Phil Jones. And I said that when the team news came out. You can go back and watch it on the watch-along. I said when the team news comes out, you've got to admire Jose Mourinho's stubbornness because picking Phil Jones is such a major risk if it goes wrong. Phil Jones has made countless mistakes this season. If he makes a big mistake in this final, it's totally and utterly going to be on Jose Mourinho. And he makes a big mistake. Trevor Kane Duffy says it's going to be 6 times in Kiev. Mate, you know what? I don't want it to happen like I don't want to stick a pen in my eye. But the way this season's going, if you're a Liverpool fan, you've got a great chance of winning next week because the way it's going for United fans, everything we want and hold true is not happening. So Liverpool probably will win it next week. It's been that sort of season. Yeah, I heard about that love letter and I hoped it was true, but maybe it wasn't. Okay. Right, I think I'm going to get off and get these fan cams up, but I've said this many times before. I said it through the Van Hal era, and I'll say it to you now because there's still 4,000 people watching. The United Stand is a fan channel where it's nothing without you lot. And I think when we have a bad result like that, it's great that we can all be live together and sort of share in the pain because it's very lonely when you have a bad result like that. But we'll never get I said this in the Van Hal era, you're never going to get an apology from the club, and we're never going to get an apology from a manager who refuses to take responsibility. So as a fan channel, as a community, I apologise for that performance from Manchester United today. I know that means nothing and I shouldn't apologise because it's nothing to do with me, but I do apologise because I know as a Manchester United fan how it feels tonight. I know that we've been let down and I know that it's not good enough. And I know that the lifeblood of the club and the people who passionately care the most are you. And who's going to apologise to you? No one. So I apologise. I think it's rubbish tonight. Gungshi says, I'm worried for the future of our club. The players don't seem to enjoy playing this type of dual defensive and inspiring football. If Fellaini is Joe's idea of a future of success for United, then we're in deep trouble. And John Brooks says, Mark, apart from De Gea, how many of these players would get in the 99 or 08 teams? Probably none. That's our problem. What has happened to us as a club? You're both spot on. We are a million miles away from where we need to be. And we're nowhere near those clubs. Nowhere near. And it's worrying. Anyway, I will be back tomorrow. Definitely at 8 o'clock. But there might be some transfer news that I can cover for you tomorrow. Bjorn Lundberg says it sums up our season. We did the same in the Premier League and Champions League. Not even close. And Abhinav says we are Manchester United and we will come back. I hope you're right, Abhinav. I hope we will come back at some point. I just don't know how long it's going to take. Fan cams are going to be going up very soon, and we'll make sure that we get Paul's fan cam up for you. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and you've got your notifications on. Most important thing, if you want to see Paul's fan cam, make sure you've clicked the bell underneath and ticked to get all notifications, because that will hopefully be going up in the next half an hour. So thanks everyone for watching. Apologies. I know it's not the result we wanted, and hang out for the fan cams. Paul's going to go off, isn't he? I haven't even bloody seen it. He's going to go off on one, and it might make you feel a little bit better. Speak to you all soon.